Hey everybody,
Hi.
got a new adventure for you today. We have a different hike planned, but found out that there's a big festival thing going on at Red River Gorge this weekend, so we decided to keep it a little closer to home. So today, we are at Lake Katherine in Jackson, Ohio. For many years, this was the site of a boys' camp called Lake Arrowhead until like 1964 or something like that. But now it is a state nature preserve. Has some really awesome hiking trails. But we've never hiked here before, so we don't really know what to expect. So stay with us and we'll show you what we find. So this is the start of the trail system at Lake Katherine. And you can see it's a pretty wide open path. And with it being a state nature preserve, it does a pretty good job outlining with the maps. Very well maintained. So I think it's going to be a really great hike today. But when we see some cool stuff, we'll show you what we find. Okay, so we're not super far from the trailhead, and we already came into this really neat area where the trail goes through a bunch of cool rocks. It's really neat. I mean, probably doesn't show up as good on video, but in person, it's pretty cool. And here's where the trail splits off. We're going to do the Pine Ridge Trail first. So the trail kind of winded down from those rocks and came down to more flat land, and we're now following kind of along the base of Salt Lake Creek. It's very scenic, very pretty, very quiet. Haven't seen another soul at all today. So as this trail winds around Salt Lake Creek, it came through this area, and there's some high cliff walls. They probably go up probably a solid 50 feet, really close to the edge of the trail. Pretty neat. So right below the cliff walls, it's like we saw this as we're following this Pine Ridge Trail along Salt Lake Creek. There's a little rock outcropping that comes literally like right over the top of the creek, and a little user path that you can take down to the rock, get right out to the edge. Pretty neat. So I don't think you're allowed to fish in this area, but we've already seen 2 or 3 fish jump up, and this water is actually pretty calm, and the only thing that's moving it are the fish jumping up. So not sure what's in here, but look at this area. This is so pretty down here. So right close to where the rocks came out over the top of Salt Lake Creek, we saw where it looked like the trail kind of went up to the edge of these rocks. Don't know if this is part of the official trail or not, but most like most of our adventures, Jeannie found some rocks to climb on.
we found this little trail, and up here in the cliffs, we see a little bit of like window arches. They're really tiny, but they're pretty cute. They're not big enough to be an arch, but they're very cute little window arches.
So the high cliff walls continue along the Pine Ridge Trail, and we saw another little path that went up to this really cool little rock shelter. I mean, it's not very big, and it's not very tall. And if I were to stand up right now, I would definitely hit my head against the ceiling. But if you look at the ceiling, it looks like it's made out of gravel, where clearly water has been up in here at one point in time. It's pretty neat. Never really seen one like this before. And we've seen a ton of rock shelters, but never one that has rocks baked into the ceiling. Pretty wild. So even though it's October, colors really haven't changed very much, but we did see one little red leaf along the trail. So the fall colors, they're coming. So when you hike the Pine Ridge Trail and you get to the back half of the trail, it takes you very close to Highway 35, and then it takes you on a series of switchbacks and turns you back around in the opposite direction. So there's a little bit of elevation involved. So if that's not for you, just be forewarned, but it's not really too bad. It's still a pretty easy trail. This part of the trail goes through a bunch of hemlock and tall pines. And there's not a lot of light back in here. Little splashes here and there, but pretty dark. Kind of looks like the perfect place for the Headless Horseman to come charging at you on a big black horse. Pretty neat though. So we really weren't sure that there was going to be much on the backside of this trail or not, but when we were standing over and looking at that huge rock wall where the rock shelter was, we saw what appeared to be a small cave. Now, this is a rock shelter, but this rock shelter is deep. This thing goes back probably, I'd say 20, maybe even 30 feet. It's super long, very muddy in the back, so I'm not gonna go back in there. But I'm like standing inside of it. So, I mean, it's, at least from this point, it's over 6 foot tall, you know, and you can kind of see just how big this rock shelter is. And there's like the top of the rocks where the rock shelter down below is. I kind of figured out that there's probably a waterfall in here during the wet season because it looks black in a certain area where the water's probably flowing over, but there's no water here today. But anyway, this is a pretty neat little cave / rock shelter that's right here along the trail. Pretty cool. This is a really sweet gorge that's along this trail. And it's a real shame that there's no trails where you can go down from the bottom to get up underneath it. I mean, there's all kinds of cool rocks to climb on. And you can see Jeannie's standing on the ledge next to the big tree right there. Yep, we're pretty high up above, but you know, we've done this 1,000 times, so you know what? But it's like, if you're a novice hiker, don't try this. Might be a little slippery, you might hit an acorn and you could go over, so. Pretty cool. So just to show you how high Jeannie was up before, there's the tree that she was standing in front of, and there's the bottom of the gorge. Pretty impressive. Further down the trail, there are some more high cliff walls. And crazy thing about this one, there's like this ledge right there, and it has a little, actually it's a pretty good sized rock that kind of looks like a tabletop. But there's nobody getting to that table. Not safely, not without rappelling gear. But I will say this now, after we've been on this trail for a little bit, because there's not a lot of trees and stuff. I mean, the trail kind of takes you along, but not right on the edge of this. So if you bring your children, keep them close to you, because if they went running towards the edge of this, they would fall over and it would not be a good thing. So just keep that in mind if you come to hike Pine Ridge Trail. So standing on the edge of the trail, I can look down and see the high cliff walls, and it looks like right down below that there is another rock shelter down there. It's kind of hard to see from the video because we're definitely looking at it from the top from a distance, but there's the top of the wall going down by about 50-60 feet, and it kind of looks like a rock shelter right there. Pretty neat though. So the Pine Ridge Trail starts kind of winding you back down into the gorge, and when we came down we saw this huge rock, and it kind of has like the profile of a face. Kind of see like the squinting eye and the chin and the nose sticking out. Pretty wild. So the Pine Ridge Trail winds around, and it came up to this little bridge with a water feature with a cascading waterfall that goes right underneath it. And I believe that goes right out to Lake Katherine right there. This is so cool. This is something that you just got to see and experience in person. So the Pine Ridge Trail kind of like took us up where the water was cascading and took us right next to Lake Katherine. And wow, she's a beauty. Perfect blue sky. Water's nice and calm. Man, you couldn't ask for anything better than this. This is awesome. So right past Lake Katherine, come along this gravel trail and takes you to these gorgeous rock walls. I mean, wow. I mean, just wow. You want a scenic trail to hike? I don't know, you're gonna find a better one in Ohio than this one. It's got a little bit of everything. So we just keep seeing cool stuff along this trail. There's this rock wall with like a little small rock shelter, like right on the edge of the trail. And this is fairly close. I mean, we're pretty close now to the parking area. based on a little map that we saw back there. Because yes, there are like little map markers and stuff along the trail, so that way you don't get lost, because it is a trail system and there are multiple trails. But look at this. This is awesome. Very cool. There's a snakehead rock in Red River Gorge, and I think this could be a close second to it in Lake Katherine. Pretty neat how this head protrudes out from the side.
Hello.
So we got done with our hike at Lake Katherine, and we did 3.2 miles. And we decided, we saw that there were some geocaches in the area. So we're in an undisclosed location around Jackson, Ohio. We'll just say that. And we found our first geocache for the day. Let's check it out.
Sweet. Oh, I don't have a pen.
It doesn't have a little pencil or anything in there?
9:25 was the last time it was found. Oh,
What is that?
it's just little circles. That's what they do. They just put little things in
Oh, a
there.
little Disney sticker.
Yeah, they just put little things in there.
We probably got something in the truck. There's probably a pen in the truck that we
Yeah,
can
we
use.
should.
We'll go get a pen and see if we have something random in the truck that we can stick in there. Just a little pill bottle. So,
Yeah.
But we found it. We found our first one.
Sweet. Here.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
So we just finished up our adventure. Like I said before, we did 3.2 miles at Lake Katherine, and man, we didn't even scratch the surface of that area. There's so many hiking trails there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we can't wait to go back. Definitely got a lot more to explore there, but we decided not to kill ourselves today. It's like we just stuck with the small hike and found 2 geocaches after that, and now it's like we're gonna get food. So that's gonna do it for this adventure. As always, get out and hike. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe. Have a great week, everybody.